hiring BTech final year students for analyst position. They are basically giving final year students analyst internship. And the eligibility criteria is you must be from a circular branch, that is either from electrical instrumentation, CSP or IT, and your CGPA must be above 7.5. It was programming. There were two programming questions. As I remember, one was based on prime factors and the other one was based on simple DP. So my round one was aptitude plus coding. It was total of 90 minutes round, but each section was given like time limit. So for aptitude, basically, I was having 45 minutes and I was about to solve 60 questions. But the twist here was that there was negative marking also. Technical started with my resume walkthrough. They told me to walk through my resume and explain my projects. And then since I've written Python and SQL in my resume, so they asked me questions, simple questions on Python, then 2 to 3 queries on SQL. The interviewer was really impressed. My suggestion for those who all are preparing for AMEX or for preparing for an analyst profile is that start working on your communication skills. The better is your communication skills, the more are your chances to get through this. And then like pick one of the programming, based programming language like Python, C++, or Java and work on it for it.
Good morning everyone. So today we have with us Kirti Daga, who got recently intern opportunity from AMEX. Congratulations Kirti from the team Aim2Crack, and we thank you for joining us and sharing your experience. So let's start with the eligibility criteria and then for the designation for which they have taken you. Can
Yeah. American Express is hiring BTech final year students for analyst position. They are basically giving final year students analyst internship. And the eligibility criteria is you must be from a circular branch, that is either from electrical instrumentation, CSP or IT, and your CGPA must be above 7.5.
Okay, so if somebody has done minor in CSE from other non-circuit branch, will they are allowing or they did not allow?
They did not allow the non-circuital branch for this position.
Okay, fine. So what is the selection process they have followed?
The selection process is started from the eligibility criteria. Once you clear the eligibility criteria, you will get a chance to sit in the round one, which is FT plus coding, and then you will get a chance to go for the interview if you clear the cutoff. There will be 3 interviews: technical plus HR, and then HR.
Okay, fine. And for the first round, for shortlisting, it is only based on CGPA, right? Or they have gone through your resume?
For this time, it was purely based on CGPA. It depends on the firm's like availability. If they require less amount of employees, then they will like shortlist on the resume also. But this time, it was basically on the basis of.
Okay, fine. So how long was this aptitude round, and like what type of questions you have got on that?
Yeah. So my round one was aptitude plus coding. It was total of 90 minutes round, but each section was given like time limit. So for aptitude, basically, I was having 45 minutes and I was about to solve 60 questions. But the twist here was that there was negative marking also. So while you are solving the question, you have to keep in mind that point also. And the aptitude was a combination of aptitude plus CS fundamentals plus SQL, since they are hiring for analyst.
Is it like the timed question they have used? Like for each question there will be a timing?
No, not for each question. There was a section cutoff, like section timing. So for aptitude, total was 60 questions and you were given 45 minutes. You can attempt and shuffle between the questions at any point of time. The time was a bit less. From my experience, I could say that the section time was a bit less because the question level was like from easy to medium. You will get easy and you will get medium questions.
So once you have completed this aptitude test, you have got your result?
Yeah, the aptitude and coding test held on the same day. So 45 minutes was allotted to aptitude, and then there was a 30-minute coding round also. So in the coding round, we had two questions. Both the questions, one was an easy level question and other was medium level question. And after that, based on both the test performances, they put out the result.
In coding round, what type of questions you have been asked to do? So it's like coding test is full of programming, or it's MCQ kind of thing?
It was programming. There were two programming questions. As I remember, one was based on prime factors and the other one was based on simple DP, dynamic programming.
Okay. So can you explain what type of logic you have used?
Yeah. So for the prime factorization question, I used the logic of Steve's Internship so that the time limit for the question would decrease. I started from the brute force approach, but then I thought the question was giving a time limit error, so I moved my approach to Steve Internship. And for dynamic programming question, I used 0-1 naps as my logic.
Okay. You have been able to complete in the given time?
I was able to complete one question, 1.5 question I could say, because the time was a bit less, and for the dynamic programming part, I was getting a TLE. So times up, I was able to complete 1.5 question.
This aptitude and coding test, they have shortlisted the students, right?
Yes, sir. So 195 students who stepped into this, they shortlisted around 25 students for the interview.
The next round is like again they have the technical round, right?
Yeah, it was a technical interview.
Okay, so the technical, whether they asked anything related to electrical engineering or only full of programming and coding?
So the technical started with my resume walkthrough. They told me to walk through my resume and explain my projects. And then since I've written Python and SQL in my resume, so they asked me questions, simple questions on Python, then 2 to 3 queries on SQL. Since they are looking for analyst positions, so they are more focusing towards Python and SQL. Students with Python and SQL capabilities have a greater chance to clear the interview.
What kind of projects you have done which you feel like it has really helped in the interview?
I have done almost 3 to 4 projects, but the project which is close to my heart, which made me learn more out of it, was Smart and Pen Met, since it was purely ML based project, and I have done it in the Python itself. So this project helped me in explaining my ML capabilities, and then there was another project which was loan prediction. Since American Express is a finance company, so having a project related to a finance background gives you an upper edge.
Okay, so they have been asking only questions related to the whatever you have done.
Yeah, so for the technical interview, most of the questions were based on my resume. So whatever skills I have mentioned in my resume, they were discussing them thoroughly.
Okay, the technical round, how long it took?
It took around 45 minutes.
Okay, so you were able to answer all the question, or somewhere you said you were not able to answer some particular questions in a better way?
Yeah, there was one question I remember that I didn't knew the answer of that question. There was a SQL query they asked me, and I just told that I'm at a basic level of this, so I don't know. And my interviewer was really sweet. He always supported me during the interview. He tried to give me hints so that I could solve it. So that was the question which tricked me.
Okay, so they didn't show any negative reaction towards when you say that you don't know the answer for that particular question.
Yeah. Even I was having a network issue while the interview. So while my interview was going on, my video was unable to turn on because of the network issue. My voice was not clear. Till then, they were really supportive. They, at the end, when I told them that sorry, due to network issue, I could not focus more on this. They were like, it's all right. Whatever you have done, it's good. It's enough for us. So that was the most supportive part of the interview.
After the technical round, there was one more technical round or directly to HR?
There was one technical plus HR round. Talking about that round, in that round, I was asked a puzzle. Puzzle was if I have to cut a cake into 8 equal pieces, and I have almost at most three pieces, three cuts to be made around the cut. So how would I approach? And then there was he asked me how Google platform works internally. Then he asked me to rate myself out of 5 on the OOPS subject. Then I rated myself. Then he asked me to explain the OOPS as he is a college student and I am the professor and I am explaining in the OOPS subject. Then he asked me to rate myself for the Python, so I rated that also. Then he moved forward towards SQL, and in the last, being an HR, he asked me what is my dream firm, what do AMEX do, what are the roles where AMEX play.
Okay, how much you have rated yourself in OOPS?
I rated myself as 4. Then he asked me why I didn't rated myself as 5, and then I told him that the technology evolves every day, so you learn every day, so you cannot rate yourself as 5.
Okay, yeah, that's a great answer. And how much you have rated yourself in Python?
In Python, I rated myself as 3. Then he asked me that we don't want students with 3 rating. So what do you do? So I told him that right now at this position I am having a rating of 3. But still, before joining, I will be having 4 months. So I will try to increase my rating and increase my knowledge to in-depth.
Yeah, that's a very helpful answer. You have told they have given you the feedback after the HR. Like, what is the feedback they have given?
So during my second round, my interviewer was really impressed with me. He told me to connect me through LinkedIn, and then he told me you were very good. Like, he gave me a hint in that round only that I'm going to be selected for the final round. And he also pointed out that he also gave a feedback regarding my coding skills. He told me that you need to improve a bit your coding skills before joining. So he was really supportive at that time also.
Oh, okay. This is also a second technical round.
Technical plus HR. So there were, few technical, few HR.
So the next round is again you have another HR round?
Yeah, the final round was HR round.
So totally you have 3 interviews. So first one is technical and next one is technical plus HR and the third one is HR round.
Yes.
So how long this second round has gone?
Second round also went for around 45 to 30 minutes.
Okay, it is one after the other or they have given you the time interval like first technical round and second technical plus HR?
No, it was like one after the other. First round completed and then after 1 hour I got a message to appear for the second round, and then after 10 minutes of second round I was getting a message to appear for HR round.
So in HR round, how they have started and what are the questions they have asked?
He started with my introduction, then he gave me a guest estimate. He told me to estimate number of population who could buy Tesla cars in the Rajasthan itself. So basically he was looking at my approach, how do I approach the target population. And then he went on with the working of AMEX, what do AMEX do, and then he asked me what are my weaknesses, what are my strengths.
Okay, and coming back to that same question, what is the answer you have given for how will you estimate the population to buy a certain car?
Yeah, so I started with I took around 30 seconds to think, and then I told him that the factors which would affect our income, then region, then the number of people who are having car and number of people who are interested in buying Tesla. So we will start with a survey of these people. First we will collect the data and then we will design a predictive model based on the data to estimate the number of people.
Indirectly you have explained you have knowledge in ML which can be used there to predict whether a person can buy a car or not. Yeah, that's also good. So after that, he was talking about MX then.
Then he asked me about my strength and my weaknesses.
What are the answers you have given for your strength and weakness?
For the weakness, I told him that I am stubborn. I am stubborn towards my deadline, towards my project, and I have used my weakness. In this positive manner. And for the strengths, I told him that I am confident toward facing challenging situations. So it was a short round. Like my HR was totally impressed with these questions, and he said, "Thank you." At last, he asked me to ask a question,
Okay.
and I asked him what's his favorite part of working at MX.
What is the answer he has given?
So he told that at MX, every point of time, his favorite part was working with the credit and fraud risk department. So he was the basically I didn't know that, but he was the director of that department.
Okay.
So he told me that how they innovate, how they use ML in technology, and their work culture they like. They like young minds and old minds both have the same space in the MX. They interact with each other on a daily basis. They share ideas.
Being from a non-IT branch, do you feel like they have treated you separately, like they didn't expect much in the programming side?
No, I didn't feel that since I was the only one who got selected from aptitude to the interview from a non-IT branch. So, my fellow mates who were from CSE, they were also asked the same type of questions, like based on Python. And MX is coming for an analyst profile, so they want you more to be visionary about the future. They want to see how capable you are to look into the problems and how could you vision that. They are not specific towards languages, but if you have a good strength in a programming language, then it's a plus for you. And along with SQL, having a basic SQL knowledge is also a plus.
Do you have any suggestion for the other people who are going to prepare for AMEX?
Yeah. So my suggestion for those who all are preparing for AMEX or for preparing for an analyst profile is that start working on your communication skills. The better is your communication skills, the more are your chances to get through this. And then pick one of the OOPS-based programming language like Python, C++, or Java and work on it thoroughly. And then have some projects in the field of ML. Since ML is used in the finance most of the time, so have some kind of basic knowledge in the ML. Yeah, that would be sufficient.
Okay. Thank you, Kirti. Thank you for joining us. I hope your experience will obviously help other people who are going to prepare for AMEX. And from our Aim2Crack team, we wish you all the best for your career as well. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.